I get up and speak, or any of these guys do, it's called the phone check. Make sure you turn your phone on vibrate. That's what that was. So they didn't get me today. But at any rate, I am a third generation firefighter. Uh, my grandfather, Charlie Word, was a longtime fire chief in the city of Hernando. He was actually the town marshal for the city of Hernando. My dad went through basic training in 1969 in Memphis. And he had about just over 40 years in the fire service. And if I had to tell you anybody that I looked up to and tried to emulate, it was my dad. And I lost him just a few short months ago. I knew my dad was dying, and I thought I was prepared for it. And today may be the day. I don't know. If this tear rolls out of my head, that's going to be the first one I've shed since he died. I just hadn't come to terms with it. But let me tell you, that was an awesome man. Awesome, awesome man that I looked up to. And I challenge each and every one of you to find that one person that you look up to. The one person that can show you the true way that you need to be walking every day. And not just in the fire service, but in life in general. And that's who you need to emulate. That's who you need to try and be. That guy. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of folks get up here and speak, and they speak to the crowd, and I didn't block them out. I'm glad they're here to support you, but I'm here to talk to you. I may ruffle some feathers, but that's all right, too. There's going to be some folks back home that's going to tell you, you know what, you need to leave some of that stuff you learned at the fire academy at the fire academy. Some of you probably already heard that. I couldn't agree more. You do. You need to leave it here. The part you need to leave here is the realization of the fact that some of those guys back home are stuck in a rut. Some of those guys back home are not into the new technology and the new ways. Fire is not the fire that it was just 10 years ago, much less 20. Things change, and there's new and there's more innovative ways to go about doing things to keep ourselves safe. But sometimes our folks back home, they just don't want to grasp onto that. They just don't want to do it. So leave that part here. Then when you get back home, just know there's people up there that's going to try to find fault with things that you do. Don't worry about that mess. Let it go. You're the guys that need to be the ones that start the fights in the chief's office. That's who you need to be. And I can assure you, your good battalion chiefs are going to be fighting. There'll be times that, for some reason or another, the fire chief's going to decide to do some shift change and things of that nature and move station houses. You need to be the folks that start those fights. That you've got battalion chiefs out on the apron physically going hand to hand because they're fighting over you. Now, there's going to be one or two reasons they'll be fighting. It's because they don't want you on their shift working under them, or it's because they do. Be the firefighter that they're fighting for to get them on their shift, and you can do it. No longer is it about you. It's about your crew. It's about your other folks. I used to teach in the fire officer class. Just about everybody's insignia has some semblance of what's actually called a speaking trumpet. It was used back in the day to call commands out on the fire ground. A lot of times we call them bugles now, but it's actually a speaking trumpet. And when you promote up, a lot of times we just get handed those bugles, if you will, and we put them on our collar, but we never really have any training on how to use those things. So I know this is a basic class, but I'm going to give you a little fire officer 101 Mike Word style here. If you'll notice, when you look at that bugle, it's big on one end, small on the other. You can do this as well. A lot of times we don't know how to use this thing. So when whatever happens on the fire ground, it comes time to use this thing, we just reach up there and we pull it off with almost no training. We look at it, we try to figure out how we're going to use this thing. So we don't really know, so we pick it up and maybe we just look through it, I guess. So we take this thing and we look through it like so. If you'll notice, I'm looking through the big end, coming out the small end, and everything's pinpointed. I really can't see a lot. Just really focused, laser focused on whatever it is. That's the kind of stuff that gets you in trouble in the fire service, especially when you get up in the officer ranks. Remember that you always look through the small end and out the big end. The way to remember that is the little end always points to you because you're the little guy now, even though you got it. But when you look through this thing, everything's big and is wide open. You can see the whole picture. You can make good, intelligent decisions on things that you need to do. And you're never going to rise up to the occasion. You're always going to fall back to your highest level of training. That's what you're going to fall back on. You'll never rise to what it takes. And I'm sure Mr. Cross is sitting up here nervous, wondering what in the world we're going to be talking about today. Well, I had some stuff I was going to talk about my dad pretty significantly, and I wanted his fire helmet, but I've got it put up, and I just couldn't do it. So, I'm just going to talk to you. I have not opened this Ziploc bag since 2008. I haven't opened it. I'm opening it today. This is probably, out of all the things I've done, this is probably my most prized possession that I have. And I got a lot of junk. I got a lot of stuff. I was fortunate enough to do 10 years with the Scout Firefighter Combat Challenge. I traveled all over North America. I've met firefighters from all over the world. I've got so much junk in my office, from Kuwait to Manitoba, you name it, I got it. And this sits right in the middle of a just huge handful of challenge coins and photographs. Just all manner of fire service memorabilia. This sits right in the middle. I had opened this up since 2008. This young man, he graduated the fire academy. He hadn't been out long at all. Make sure you click on the back too. It's part of the I can read. He had long been out of the academy. Spent a large fire call. And they call it a church. Huge church. He goes in with his crew and they start trying to light this thing out, light this fire. And whatever happened, I don't know that he really knows. But somehow or another, he got separated from his crew. Brand new guy. Brand new. And this fire did it. God was on his help. He starts making circles trying to find his way out, and he can't get out. Finally stops. He says, well, I know what I got to do to get out of here. So he stops and regains his composure, grabs him a wall, and starts running up out. Simple. Let's get out. When he comes to a doorway that he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt he didn't ever come in. So he knows this is not the way out. Don't go. So he passed it up. And he makes another round. And he comes to another doorway which he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that's not the way he came in. At this point, the people on the ground know, hey, we're missing a guy. Where is he? Nobody knows. And the fire is burning and it's getting hot. You can see the evidence of that right there from the hotel. At this point, he's run out of there. His low air alarm is going off. And he's almost in panic mode. And it wasn't too much longer, and the low air alarm stops. Probably been there in your training. You still got a little bit of air, but you don't have much. We're down to just a couple of minutes of depth. This man's got 2 brand new baby girls at home. 2. And he is inside of this building. He's in a fetal position. He's out there. And he knows beyond a shadow of doubt that he is about to take his dying breath. He's gone. This is a dead man. And he knows it. Can you imagine what is going through this man's mind? Full panic. Full panic. He said he laid his head down. It was linoleum. It all melted to his face shield itself. He put his head down and prayed. Because he knew that he was going to die. And he prayed that God would look after his wife and his 2 baby girls. As he prepared himself to draw his last breath. This isn't me. Just tell you what the man told me. You read it on the back of that. I didn't like that either. He said, for some reason, I can tell you why. It was God himself. He said, for some reason, I was able to go back to just a couple of weeks ago of our training that we had down in the old heat building where we were doing our search patterns, to be able to calm myself down, regain my composure, think about what I'm doing, and get yourself out. He said at that point he heard a faint, real faint. That's all he heard. He was right by the door that he knew that he didn't come out. He goes out of it anyway. There's a set of stairs. He falls all the way down the stairs. But keep in mind, the whole time he was screaming, which is why he was probably consuming a lot more air than he should have. There happened to be 2 paramedics that were walking behind the building, and they heard this noise at a doorway. They were here, they weren't there. They were trying to get some forced entry into this thing to figure out what's going on. When they finally got the door open, he had slid down those stairs, and that was his last breath. They saved that man's life. He's alive today for a multitude of reasons. The biggest reason he's alive today is because he fell back on his training. He was able to stop and regain his composure, think about what he was doing, and be able to help himself get out. Today, his little girls are somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or 11 years old. He's doing great. It all started right here. He sat probably in one of these seats right here that you're in today. As I'm telling you, this is a dangerous job. You can graduate here today and you can be dead tomorrow. You better think about what you do. Think about it. Play it all the way through before you start making some bad decisions. But you know it's not always like that. I can't recall the firefighter's name, and I won't put a Chuck Collier on the on right off the bat to call his name. Chuck Collier's coordinated class. Had a guy graduated on Friday, then I think it was. Saturday morning, this kid hadn't been graduated 24 hours and goes into a burning structure and saves the life of a child. So North Mississippi. Less than 25 hours. I've been in the fire service my entire life. You know how many folks I've been able to effectively get out and save their life? Easy number. 0. None. None. Never was in the right situation at the right time to make it successful recovery. Or rescue, but not recovery. They all ended up doing it. So you got your highs and you got your lows. This is a wonderful career. You're going to meet people from all over the state of Mississippi. If you'll branch out a little bit, you meet folks from all over the world. Great people. Why don't you try and aspire to be the guy that everybody looks up to? It doesn't matter that you've only been here 2 months, or 6 months, or 6 years. Before you know it, you're going to be just like us. You got 28 years in, and you're fixing to check out here. Some folks 30. Be that guy everybody wants to be. That's what you need to do. Keep yourself safe. Don't forget where you come from in this place right here. These instructors, and not just the ones in certification, but all over this campus. Incredible. Golly, incredible people. They can teach you things that you would never imagine. They won't, but they could. You want to blow some stuff up with some deck cord? Then you can talk to them? Instructor Burns, the OD guy. See that tree team? Where did we sit there? Hey, we tell you about it. He can do it. He can do it. And it goes from that all the way to the, whatever you can imagine, these guys can do it. But you know what? They specialize in this fire service. And they pour their heart, their soul out. You know what they do for you guys every day. They're just a phone call away. You guys just a phone call. Any of them. You know, they look at this. To help you out, put you on the road to success. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget this place. Come back and get involved. Need to change our service next week. It's up to you guys. Totally up to you. I don't know how much time y'all spend over here this morning. Before you leave today, do yourself a favor. Walk out here this morning. And just spend just a few minutes. And read through some of those names. Those are firefighters right here in the state of Mississippi that lost their life in a line. And every one of their names are etched in that stone. That's the place you don't ever want to be. You don't ever want your name on there. But you need to go by and pay some respect to those that come before you. And they were all ages. Some significantly older than us. Some significantly younger. Put your name on the wall. Let's spend a little bit of time. Put a little reverence for those that came before you. They lost every pain. Guys, I'm going to tell you. This man attributes his life to this park right here, to this campus. That saves him miles every day. When things aren't going my way, and they slash my budget, and I can't do this, and I got people calling and complaining, and nothing goes right, and I'm ready to just bite the head of the world off, I look over there and I see this to bring me back to reality of why are you even doing this? Because this is what it is all about. This is what it's all about. My most prized possession. And I get it all most places. That's the first time it's been out of this bag since 2008. First time it's ever been out of there. I'm not going to do anything like this after you get it. This is real. It's real. Congratulations. You've made it to the very end of the first step of a long career. There'll be lots of times you're going to come back here. You'll go to other training classes across the country. You'll be good people. This thing is all what you put into it. You be that mediocre guy. Just set something on try to do anything. Doesn't want to keep up with stuff in the truck. You can do that if you want to. Be that person that everybody wants to say, man, I wish that firefighter right there would come watch. Every single time, man, I come by here, they're doing something. Doing something. That's the kind of stuff keeps you at home at night. Keeps you coming home in prayer. Keeps you coming home in peace. Probably round on up. I hope it makes sense to you. We've got some new trucking that's come through this place that I really don't know. But I know the heritage. I know what they stand for. You know, I don't know a person. The ones that I think I've heard, I know all about them too. So, with that being said, a lot of stuff don't bother me. So, we're going to set you guys up. Set you up. Y'all good with that? Yes, sir. Good enough. I'm going to play. Guys. Come on, Tim. Y'all come up here. Come on, surround. Come on, brother. Father, we come to you this morning, and as I've often said before, we just don't want to jump into your presence. But Father, your word tells us where two or more gathered, you are there for them. So Father, we thank you for being here in this room with these young men and women. Father, I pray this morning that you would just absolutely surround each and every one of them with absolute hedge of protection. Father, as they move forward, that you would keep them safe. You would keep them grounded to your word. Father, that you would keep them close to you. Father, treat them like you did John. Pull close. Father, they're going to need it. They're embarking on a journey today that will take them many, many years in the future, provided they stay grounded. So, Father, this morning, I pray a special blessing on each and every one. That you would protect, that you would look out for them. Father, that you would remove obstacles in their way. And Lord, should they find themselves in a perilous situation, that they will know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they can call out to you, and you'll be there for them. Father, you can remove them from the back. We love you. We thank you for all that you do, and most especially for these young men and women. They start out dead, the citizens of grace goodness. Father, we thank you, we love you. In Jesus' holy name. Amen. Congratulations.
Class 194, take Joseph. Colby Acey. Anna Ard. Corey Franklin. Jakur Franklin. Stephen Green. Lake Hancock. Patrick Hurst. Harry Henderson. James Jordan. Dimitri Landrum. Jacob Meeks. Miles Moore. Jalen McIlvain. Skylar Ray. Patrick Scaife. Troy Scott. John Small. Dane Spell. Paul Springer. Frederin Steele. Jonathan Wagner.
Congratulations, Class 194. The authority of the State Fire Academy given by the Mississippi State Legislature pronounces you guys firefighters in the state of Mississippi. So congratulations. This will conclude our ceremony. Once again, let me thank each of y'all for coming out and supporting your firefighters here today. Also, wish each of y'all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to each of y'all. Feel free to spend some time around the campus, drive around, have some cookies and punch in the front, and be sure you make some good pictures with these loved ones. Thank you, guys.